Everyone talks about grants in relation to nonprofits, but what if you're in a for-profit business? I bet you feel kind of left out. It's like if you're on a treasure hunt, but all around you are holes, treasures that have already been dug up. So if you're thinking, are there grants for my business? Where can I find them? Where do I even start? Then you're watching the right video. Today, we're talking all about how to secure grant funding for your for-profit business. Let's face it, many business owners feel like they're searching for buried treasure without a map when it comes to finding grants. Many of you have reached out frustrated and confused about where to even start. The funding is out there, you just need to know where to look and how to position yourself. Before we dive into our strategies, let's clear up some basics. For-profit versus nonprofit. What's the difference? For-profits are businesses that aim to make money for their owners. And while for-profits can absolutely serve their communities and make a huge impact, they have an important legal distinction that changes their eligibility for grants. They're primarily fundable if they're innovative, offer broad benefits, or serve a wide range of people. Some examples can include tech companies doing innovative research and development, research companies, and energy companies. Nonprofits, on the other hand, are typically 501c3 organizations with charitable purposes. Generally, these are called charitable organizations by the IRS. They're set up to serve a philanthropic purpose, and any money they make goes right back into supporting their cause. Other examples of nonprofits include tribal governments, municipalities, local and state governments, and quasi-public organizations like business associations. Generally speaking, when it comes to securing funding for organizations, nonprofits tend to have it easier. Since nonprofits usually have clear missions and measurable goals, it's more appealing to funders who want to see their money used in meaningful ways. All that said, however, it is a bit more difficult to find grant funding for political organizations, foundations, and churches or religious organizations. The reasons vary from funder to funder, but the typical reasoning is along the lines of wanting to avoid potential biases and/or controversies. However, it's not impossible to win grants for these types of nonprofits. I actually just recently won a $1.25 million grant for a religious organization. Now that we've clarified the difference, let's uncover our first hidden gem for for-profits: fiscal sponsorship. A fiscal sponsor is an existing nonprofit that provides administrative support for your project. By routing your grant money through a fiscal sponsor, you can focus on your core mission and grant writing expertise, while the fiscal sponsor handles the administrative and financial stuff. To make a fiscal sponsorship happen, your project needs to have some sort of charitable angle that gives back to the community. Could be anything from educational programs to environmental projects. You also have to make sure your project aligns with the fiscal sponsor's mission. They're more likely to help if your goals match up with theirs. Keep in mind, there's usually a fee involved. For example, 10% of total funds managed, but again, this varies. This fee covers the sponsor's admin work and oversight, but trust me, it's worth it for the support and credibility they bring. For a real-life example, let's look at our very own Meredith Noble, who is working on a Nordic-inspired tiny house retreat in McCarthy, Alaska. To fund this ambitious project, Meredith is utilizing a fiscal sponsorship. A 501c3 nonprofit will manage the grant funds and handle administration, allowing her to access funding she wouldn't otherwise qualify for. This partnership not only streamlines the grant process, but also enables her to focus on realizing her vision. I highly recommend you go watch the full video linked in the video description. Meredith's vision for a co-working space and eudaimonia machine is kind of amazing. Hidden gem number 2, solid business model and small business resources. Before chasing grants, it's essential to have a solid foundation. Here's how you can do that. Number 1, the business model canvas. This is like a cheat sheet for your business plan. It helps you map out your strategy and identify areas that need improvement. We've got a link for you to check out this handy tool in the description below. Number 2, utilizing your Small Business Development Center, or SBDC. These guys are seriously the unsung heroes of the business world. They help me a lot. They offer everything from bookkeeping help to accounting advice, and it's usually for free or at least a super low cost. I've personally tapped in my local SBDC many times and can't recommend it enough. Here's a real-life example from Meredith. She secured a $2,500 grant from the National Science Foundation for customer discovery on a new product idea. The grant, which went for their for-profit business, was processed through their local SBDC. Hidden gem number 3, local grants. Don't overlook what's in your own backyard. Number 1, your local economic development authority might have grants and incentives to help local businesses grow. It's worth giving them a call or checking their website. For example, Meredith and Alex met in Valdez, Alaska, a small town of 4,000 people that you might recognize the name as the location of the Valdez ExxonMobil oil spill. The city of Valdez provided grants of up to $25,000 to help business owners with exterior signage and beautification, helping helping with overall image and economic development. Number 2, to mention SBDC again, they often have the inside scoop on local grants that are designed to boost small business in your area. And number 3, local government. There's usually a lot of funding that filters down from the federal level. For example, during the pandemic, there was a flurry of funds distributed to local governments to help small businesses weather the economic downturn. For example, the CRF, ESGCV, and CDBGCV were just a few grants offered that were part of the CARES Act to help provide COVID relief. Hidden gem number 4, industry-specific grants. Each industry has its own set of grants, and they're just waiting for you to find them. Here's a story for you. I once had a local seamstress reach out to me, and with just a quick Google search for grants for seamstresses and fiber arts grants, we found a whole bunch of funding opportunities. So, take the time to look up your grant specific to your field. Sometimes it really is just simple as Googling it. Hidden gem number 5, grants for small businesses. Just as there are numerous grants designed for nonprofits, there are also many tailored specifically for small businesses. Keep in mind, these grants can be super competitive. This is something we teach you how to evaluate in the Global Grant Writers Collective. Here's a short list of resources to help you find them. Hello Alice. This platform connects you with funding and mentorship opportunities tailored to your needs. Freelancing Females. If you're a woman in the freelance world, this is the place for you. They offer grants and other support to help you thrive. Amber Grant. Every month, the Amber Grant awards funding to women-owned businesses. SBIR program. The Small Business Innovation Research Program funds tech innovation. If you're working on something groundbreaking, this could be your ticket. Though we want to be real that these are highly competitive and require truly novel technology and professional team to pursue. Also, I want to take a quick second to plug Stormy Banks, who has a real handle on for-profit grants. She's seriously talented and can offer some awesome advice. Check out her Instagram account linked in the description. Now you might be thinking, does this really work? Well, if you need more proof than the stories I've shared so far, let me introduce you to Megan Kelly from our collective. Megan has made a huge impact in the for-profits landscape as an in-house grant writer. Working for a behavioral health organization in Nashville, she recently secured a $6.5 million grant from the Opioid Abatement Council. This grant is fueling the development of the Resilient Roots Family Wellness Center, a project that will support families through various programs, including specialized outpatient services and therapeutic support for children. Not enough proof? Well, check out Loretta's story. Loretta recently landed a $5,000 Phase 0 grant to prep for an SBIR grant for the USDA. Her project? A cutting-edge beef tracking system using blockchain technology. This grant went to a for-profit business and was funded through the University of Wyoming. There is money out there for for-profits. You just have to know how to find it and secure it. Today, we've talked all about how for-profits can get grants. We've covered the difference between for-profits and nonprofits in the grant world, how to use fiscal sponsorship, the importance of a solid business model, leveraging local resources, finding industry-specific grants, and we've given you a list of grants to check out. Remember, grant funding for businesses is out there. It might take some creative thinking and persistence, but with these strategies, you're well on your way to securing that funding. Curious how Meredith's securing grants for her passion project? Don't forget to check out that video I mentioned earlier. Meredith's vision is seriously inspiring. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.